Today I am at what is called the Short Springs State Natural Area in Tennessee. And this is another hiking trail. It leads to another waterfall. But this one is way lesser known, it seems like. I'm at the parking lot right now, and you can see it's only able to fit maybe a dozen or so cars. So I don't think we'll see very many people here today. But here's a look at the sign. There are quite a few trails to do here, and it looks like a couple people just pulled in behind me. So I'm gonna get going. But hoping to have you along. Happy to have you along, I should say, for this hike, and hopefully we'll get to see some cool stuff along the way. Here's the start of the trail. So I'm gonna take Machine Falls Loop, and it looks like, according to this sign, you can go either way. So I'm just gonna go right, because right hand rules. That way, if I happen to get lost on these trails, I shouldn't. I took a picture of them on my phone, but happen to get lost, you know, you have to make left turns to get out. Cannot even begin to describe how peaceful and quiet it is out here, and thankfully it's much cooler than the other day when I was at Cummins Falls. It's only about 80 degrees today, which is hot for me up north, but after that it doesn't feel as bad. But for now I'm gonna let you go. Pick back up if I come across anything interesting. Came across a pretty open clearing here with some power lines, which is, even though it looks like we're surrounded by nature, a reminder that civilization usually is never that far off. So far I have like full bars of connection on my cell phone here, so it's not like I'm going off grid or any crazy thing like that. This trail is pretty dense though, you can tell. Definitely not a lot of people traverse this, but I guess that's part of the fun for me. Ooh, butterflies. I probably should have brought my bug spray with me, but so far I don't see anything biting me, so. Came across this section of fallen trees and timbers across the path here. I can definitely tell this area is nowhere near as maintained as the last place I was at. And I am starting to get hot now. Carefully pick my way over these. I hear some voices up ahead too. It's a pretty nice little family. Dad with his two daughters out here exploring and enjoying the wilderness. Always good to see it. Following along a little creek now. I didn't want to record up there where I was by it for their privacy. Just trying to be considerate of other visitors as always, but the creek is right over this way. So hopefully we're getting close to the main attraction here. It still could be pretty good distance. There was a rather steep downhill section earlier. I'm looking forward to climbing back up that. But so far this is a rather enjoyable hike. My only regret is that I didn't bring my walking stick from home. That would have made a little more pleasant, but that's okay. I absolutely love exploring the wilderness, and I think so far my favorite place was, although it was not the best waterfall, I liked the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. If I could live anywhere, it would probably be there. Maybe someday be able to do that. Got a rather large fallen tree here. I don't know how well you can see it, but the base of it tore up. An immense amount of ground here. Like, that's as tall as me easily, and probably 6 feet wide as well. The amount of dirt that pulled up. Here's maybe a little stream going to join the main one over there. Looks like I might be able to get you a view of the creek up ahead. The brush is thinning out a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can pick my way down there real fast. This looks like a little trail here. Just a little mountain brook peacefully flowing along here. There's a look at the way we just came from, the different hills and valleys that I crossed through. And that big hill up there is where I came down from. So at some point, I'm going to have to climb back up that. Looks like this trail is starting to circle back around, but still kind of going out away from the parking area. Definitely hearing some water features up ahead though, so I'd be getting close to a decent waterfall. Water is pretty cold. Surprisingly. There's a little bridge here. It looks kind of rickety, but just standing on it, it feels pretty stable. Take a look at the other side of the creek. This is not the way I came from. I'm not sure what's up this way. So I'm not gonna go that way. Head back up the path that I came from and keep following that. Coming up on a fork in the path here. Let's see what this little sign says. Waterfall overlook. Down this way. I definitely hear it. You can probably hear how out of breath I am too. Because I am definitely kind of fat. I'm in decent shape, but I've still got a little bit of weight to lose. Hopefully this walking helps that. What the heck? Stick just fell on me. That was weird. Ooh, this is definitely a rather narrow trail. Animal trail going off that way. Carefully. Make my way down here. This is a fairly steep incline. It will be. It doesn't really challenge to get back up. So I almost feel like sometimes, although it's physically harder to get back up, sometimes it's also easier in a weird way to climb than it is to go down. Yeah, so maybe I'm just weird. thing you'll notice is there's definitely no safety here, so I've got to be really careful. That's quite impressive. Give me 1 second, I'm going to extend the GoPro so hopefully you can see a little better. Oh wow. Coming upon a fork in the path here. Let's see what this little sign says. Waterfall overlook. Down this way. I definitely hear it. Ooh, this is definitely a rather narrow trail. Maybe an animal trail going off that way. Carefully. Try my way down here. This is a fairly steep incline. It will be definitely a challenge to get back up. So I almost feel like sometimes, although it's physically harder to get back up, sometimes it's also easier in a weird way to climb than it is to go down. But maybe I'm just weird. One thing you'll notice is there's definitely no safety here, so I've got to be really careful. That's quite impressive. Give me 1 second, I'm going to extend the GoPro so hopefully you can see a little better. Oh wow. This truly is a hidden gem. They weren't kidding when I read about this online. Long drop. I would have to estimate that's at least 50 feet down. Pretty far. I definitely don't want to fall there. Here's the little area I have to stand on. I'm not sure if this is the path down or not. Don't think it is. But I'm going to try to head down there anyway. Here's where I just came from. Here's a little better look at the falls. Stuck my face in this tiny little spider's web, and he just went flying somewhere. Like it was not onto me. That is beautiful. Here we are at the very top of the falls. So this little section of stream is what generated all of that falls. This area looks like it probably, the stream is bigger when it's a rainier time of the year. Gotta be careful here. Thin layer of rock I'm standing on. I can't see if it's false snow or not, so I'm not going to go too far out. Definitely not these rocks are tumbling way around. There's a look down. Now I just have to see if I can find a way to get down there. Here's a look upstream of the falls. the way I came from. I like how this is a tree growing right here in the middle of all this stone. Back at that sign. I'm gonna keep heading this way and see where this leads. Whew. And with a tough climb back up. Whew. Pretty far from the waterfall now. There's another sign here. Points both that way and this way. I'm going to take a left this time, just because this goes down towards where the falls was. So I'm going to see if I can get some shots of it from the bottom up. Looks like this could be the right way. It's pretty steep downhill. So this is 2 left turns. Adams Falls loop there, but I want this one first. Pretty narrow trail here, guys. I put you away for a little bit while I squeeze my way through here. Looks like I'm coming up on the falls now. Here's a little look at the creek. Another bridge. I would wonder if this was the same one I was at earlier, but it's got a guardrail on both sides, so obviously it's not. Although I do wonder if this path leads to that one that I decided not to take earlier. People leaving their shoes out here. It's not very nice. Oh, it's much colder down here in this valley, and it feels so good. That's got to be at least a 25-degree temperature difference. Oh. There's a small tributary running down here. It's going to main stream. There's only maybe 1 or 2 people overhead. My shoes are about to get soaked again. That's okay though. This is beautiful. This looks like it could be a scene out of a movie. Look at these beautiful rock formations. This is just stunning. I wonder how many millions of years it took to create this. And here's the main event. Water feels really good. This is beautiful. I'll pick up the camera and show you around. I discovered from my other falls video that GoPros like to mute sound when it's really loud, so I apologize if this sound of the waterfall is somewhat muted and my voice is terrible too. But the visuals are what's most stunning, I think. Beautiful clear water. There's a look up at the caves up there. Right now I am the only one here. That's quite something. I wonder if it's raining somewhere. It feels like the water flow picked up just a little bit. There really isn't any better way to cool off after a long hike down here. Great stuff. up there, I believe, is where I was when we were looking down earlier. Somewhere way up there. Probably more of this way. This is stunning. I love that there's utterly nobody here too. I don't want to leave this place, just like the last one. It took so much time to get here. You just want to stay and enjoy it a while. Places like this, I do wonder if it would be possible to like pay in for gold or anything. I don't know if gold's a thing around here in Tennessee or not. If anybody ever watches this that knows, let me know. That's going to do it for me here at the falls. Some other people coming, and I want to give them their chance to see it. One last look from afar. And here, maybe just a few hundred yards or so from the waterfall, the stream opens up into like this pretty good sized river here. And that looks quite deep. You see some fish right down there too. You might be able to see them. 3 or 4. If it's allowed, this would be probably a great spot to go fishing. Just past the sign that said Adams Falls Loop, so I believe the one we just saw was Machine Falls. I'm heading down the Adams Falls trail now. We'll see what that looks like here, hopefully. Just about twisted my ankle there. This is definitely a rugged hike. looks like maybe down here in this gully there would be water flowing if it was a wet season, but right now it's just a dry creek bed. So hopefully that is not a bad sign for whatever Adams Falls is. Yeah, I just went ahead and checked the pictures on my phone. It said Adams Falls is definitely a wet weather spring, and it's pretty dry here. It's been dry for my entire stay so far, so I doubt that we will see anything there. So I've gone ahead and turned back around on that trail and head back towards I think the parking lot now. So if I see anything else noteworthy, I will pop back on here and show it to you guys, but for now I think that's gonna do it for this video. So thank you for coming along, and I hope that you enjoyed this little adventure with me and getting to see it at least on the screen as well. Until next time, peace.